A two-lane highway slices through the dark Carolina countryside. It's just after 4 a.m. on February 14th, 2000, Valentine's Day. A winter storm has rolled in overnight, soaking the fields and ditches along Highway 18 near Shelby, North Carolina. The rain has slowed to a drizzle, but the wind carries a bone-deep chill that bites through even the thickest jacket. Truck driver Roy Blanton pushes his rig through the darkness, windshield wipers slapping. His headlights sweep over a stretch of slick asphalt, then catch something that makes him ease off the gas. There on the shoulder of the highway is a small figure, a girl, no older than 10, walking purposefully against the wind and rain. She wears a white long-sleeved shirt and white pants, clothes too thin for the February cold. She's not waving for help. She isn't stumbling or crying. She's just walking. Blanton slows to a crawl, wondering if she's run away from home or if her parents might be nearby. But before he can stop, the girl suddenly veers off the road, disappearing into the blackness of the tree line. He cranes his neck, but the beam of his headlights only shows empty wet pavement and sheets of rain. Just minutes later, another driver, Mark Hawkins, heading to work, spots what appears to be the same child. This time she's a little farther down the road, still alone, still braving the storm. He slows his car and considers stopping to check on her, but something about the way she bolts for the woods makes his heart sink. In the rearview mirror, she vanishes into the dark thicket like a shadow swallowed by the earth itself. By sunrise, that lonely child will become the center of one of the most haunting, unsolved disappearances in American history. Before we dig into this chilling case, I'd love to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city or country in the comments. And as you hear the details of Asha's story, ask yourself, was this the act of a child running from something at home, or did she cross paths with someone far more dangerous? If you're drawn to stories that keep you awake at night, please hit the like button. It helps bring attention to cases that deserve to be remembered. And subscribe to Dark Case Files so you never miss the next mystery we bring into the light. Asha Degree was born August 5, 1990, the second child of Harold and Aquila Degree. The Degrees lived in a modest single-story home on Oakcrest Drive in Shelby, a quiet working-class community about 45 miles west of Charlotte. Shelby in the late 1990s was the sort of southern town where neighbors knew each other's dogs by name, where Sunday service shaped the rhythm of the week, and where children could ride their bikes down cul-de-sacs without much fear. Asha was 9 years old in February 2000, a fourth grader at Falston Elementary School. She was a bright student, known for her shy smile and love of reading. Her teachers described her as well-mannered and conscientious. Friends remembered how competitive she could be in basketball. She played as a forward for her school's youth team. The Degree household was strict but loving. Harold worked long shifts at a nearby manufacturing plant. Aquila worked at a local nursing home. The family didn't own a computer, and the kids weren't allowed to stay up late watching television. But they shared plenty of laughter and were active in the local Baptist church. Still, life for Asha wasn't entirely carefree. Just the day before her disappearance, her basketball team had lost a hard-fought game. Asha had fouled out and was visibly upset afterward. Her parents noticed her spirits were low, but nothing that signaled alarm. The night before Valentine's Day unfolded like any other. Harold worked his late shift, arriving home around 12:30 a.m. Both Asha and her older brother O'Brien, age 10, had gone to bed by 8:00 p.m. in the room they shared. Rain began to drum on the roof shortly after midnight, driven by a cold front sweeping through Cleveland County. At around 2:30 a.m., Aquila checked on the kids before heading to bed herself. Both were asleep. Sometime after that, while the storm lashed against the windows and the rest of the household slept, Asha quietly got dressed, pulling on a pair of sneakers, a white long-sleeved shirt and white pants, and slipped out the front door, taking only her black book bag stuffed with personal items and a few clothes. That small, deliberate decision, a child stepping into the storm in the dead of night, remains the most chilling and confounding element of this case. By every account, the Degrees' neighborhood was quiet that night. No barking dogs, no suspicious vehicles reported. Neighbors later said the only sounds were the heavy rain and wind gusts rattling tree branches. Around 4:00 a.m., the two motorists encountered Asha on Highway 18, roughly a mile and a half from her home. Both men were certain of what they saw: a young African-American girl walking alone in the rain along the northbound shoulder. The first driver's sighting was logged at about 3:45 a.m., the second just minutes later. Witnesses described how, when they slowed to approach her, Asha's reaction was to dart off the road into the nearby woods, as if frightened of being seen. That was the last confirmed sighting of her alive. When the Degree household awoke around 6:30 a.m. Valentine's Day morning, Aquila went to the children's room to wake them for school. O'Brien stirred sleepily. Asha's bed, however, was empty, the covers neat, as though she had simply risen early. Initially thinking Asha might already be in the bathroom or hiding as a prank, Aquila searched the house, then the yard. Panic set in when she realized her daughter was nowhere to be found and that her schoolbook bag and some clothes were missing. Within minutes, the Degrees called Harold at work and dialed 911. Shelby police responded swiftly, canvassing the neighborhood and nearby routes. Officers noticed no signs of forced entry at the home, no footprints or tire tracks in the soggy yard, as though Asha had simply walked off under her own willpower. What made the scene even stranger was the weather itself. Fierce rain and wind, temperatures near freezing, and a small 9-year-old out walking alone for reasons no one could fathom. Local authorities quickly issued an emergency bulletin, although the official Amber system wasn't yet implemented in North Carolina. Hundreds of volunteers, firefighters, and sheriff's deputies combed the area on foot, horseback, and with search dogs. Helicopters scanned from above. By the second day, a storm of media vans lined the street outside the Degree home. Detectives from the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office joined forces with the FBI. Cadaver dogs picked up Asha's scent leading away from her home, but lost the trail at a nearby intersection, consistent with her heading toward Highway 18. On February 17th, searchers made the first crucial discovery. Asha's pencil, candy wrappers, and a Mickey Mouse hair bow were found in the doorway of a tool shed at a nearby business along Highway 18, about 1.3 miles from her home. Investigators believed she had taken shelter there during the rainstorm before moving on. Months later, in August 2001, a second, more disturbing discovery surfaced. Construction workers digging along Highway 18 in Burke County, about 26 miles north of Shelby, unearthed a black book bag wrapped in a plastic trash bag. Inside were several of Asha's personal items and her basketball uniform. The location of the bag, miles away in the opposite direction from her initial sighting, deepened the mystery. Detectives wondered, had someone picked her up along the highway, or had she somehow traveled that distance herself? Witness interviews turned up little. No one recalled seeing Asha at local gas stations or diners. No suspicious vehicles were definitively linked to the night she vanished. In later years, two possible leads emerged. In 2004, a prison inmate claimed to know where Asha's body was buried, but searches at the location revealed nothing. In 2016, the FBI released a new lead. Asha may have been seen getting into a green and white mid-1970s Ford Thunderbird or Lincoln Mark IV the morning she disappeared. Despite renewed tips, no arrest has ever been made. For the Degree family, the days after Valentine's Day stretched into weeks, then years. Harold and Aquila clung to the belief that their daughter might still be alive. Every February 14th, they hold a prayer walk along the stretch of Highway 18 where she was last seen, refusing to let her memory fade. The disappearance rattled the Shelby community. Parents began double-locking doors. neighbors scrutinized strangers, and local schools ramped up child safety talks. The case also drew national attention on shows like America's Most Wanted and The Oprah Winfrey Show. Theories swirled. Some thought Asha left home upset over her basketball game or other childhood stress, but experts argue 9-year-olds rarely plan overnight runaways, especially in bad weather. Others believed someone familiar coaxed her into a vehicle, a theory that fits the highway sightings and the later discovery of her bag far away. A third theory suggested she may have been struck by a vehicle, and the driver panicked and hid evidence. None of these theories has been proven. The lack of evidence, no footprints, no confirmed vehicle sighting, no physical remains, has kept investigators in a frustrating stalemate. Over 2 decades later, the case remains open. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and FBI continue to offer a $45,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Asha Degree's story endures because it defies every expectation. Children don't typically leave their warm beds for a cold, stormy highway in the dead of night. Communities don't usually let a little girl vanish off the face of the earth without a single trace. The image of that small figure on Highway 18, walking alone against the wind and rain, haunts every parent who's heard the story. Was she lured by someone she trusted? Did she sense danger at home that no one else saw? Or was it something more mysterious, a chain of coincidences that placed her in harm's way at exactly the wrong time? Every year, new families move to Shelby who may pass the highway without realizing it's the site of an unsolved tragedy. Every year, the Degree family keeps a light burning in their front window in case Asha somehow finds her way back. Some mysteries fade as decades pass, but Asha's disappearance only grows more unsettling, not because we're closer to the truth, but because we're not. What do you think happened that Valentine's morning in 2000? Did Asha run away, or was someone waiting for her out there in the dark? Share your theories in the comments. Her family still hopes that one day, the right tip will reach investigators. If you believe stories like this deserve to stay in the public eye, please like this video, subscribe to Dark Case Files, and turn on notifications, so you won't miss the next time we shine a light on the world's most haunting unsolved mysteries.